So this is it. The final playthrough. Hopefully, it goes smoothly for me. Mostly we're gonna skip. You're not gonna see a lot. I'm gonna skip around. I'm gonna play on story puzzle difficulty because that didn't have... The trophies don't stack, so I need to at least get something out of this. I get to choose my outfit again. I guess we'll go default. We'll see what the intro looks like. From what I could tell, I don't think there's going to be any new cutscenes. Or at the very least, it's all going to be the New Game Plus cutscenes that are different. Obviously, once we actually get to the home is when new stuff will probably happen. But, yeah, this is all the same. I don't even think there's really much reason to see this. Beautiful. We're back in it, baby. Journal updated, though. That's a crazy journal update. According to another legend, once upon a time, a water dragon that resided here spewed poison so people would not approach. Then Inari Sama subdued the dragon and made the land hospitable again. I added too many syllables there. This area also has a surprising number of onsen. There's research suggesting that the tale of the water dragon could in fact be referring to an incident where onsen water containing noxious gas spouted out of the ground like a geyser. I feel this theory is the most likely. I guess that explains the gas ending we got, or the geyser ending being like negative was gas. From the findings of a recent town hall investigation, it was observed that the mountains to the north and south of Ebisugaoka have a very brittle surface. The town hall declared that a landslide could occur at any given time, but the residents argued back, saying that in the last several hundred years there has been no record of such a disaster. Takugo says that the divine protection of Inari-sama is actually what's protecting Ebisugaoka. I also remember her telling me with a straight face that when the residents no longer believe in Inari-sama, Ebisugaoka will return once again to an uninhabitable land. Added more syllables again. But like, the tree was what beat the water dragon, right? Maybe if I read more of this stuff, I would get a better understanding of the lore. I could be off. The Tanuki is what beat the water dragon. But yeah, so I believe I am missing an Emma that I'm gonna be looking for. And there's a New Game Plus Emma that I can collect. Other than that, it's basically gonna be me just running through. I know in the section where we kill all of our friends, there will be new notes. That's probably where we'll come in for a nice reading sesh. I know that's your favorite. You love when I read. But I don't think there's gonna be any cutscene stuff. Really miss my sister. I don't, like, is that new? I don't know, man. I don't remember what she said. Right, gotta remember, no drugs. Oop. New note, baby. You can probably guess at what point I got this. Tattered paper. It is a long-standing custom within the Tsuniki family for the next heir to present his bride with this naginata on their wedding day. The decorations of the handle are also changed to suit the bride herself. In honor of the family's newest bride, the design of a fledgling bird with its wings spread wide has been embedded in golden leaf into the handle, reflective of not only the bride's name, but the hope that she shall soar high on gilded wings. So, after just picking this up, new note that gives a more direct origin of this, which is again a shame that the next time we come here we're gonna have wolf arm instead. Fox arm, same thing. Alright, this is where we'll get a good chunk of notes. For the sake of it, I'll show real quick what I've been rocking. I did get that 5th upgrade. Basically just had Weasel, Tanuki, Wolf, Spider, Otter. All of these to keep durability up and get extra damage from high durability, plus weasel durability, not durability, weasel damage, combined with wolf, basically allows me to 2-tap most enemies or 1-tap with the knife. And then Tanuki, just so I don't really have to worry about healing, since I'm not really using sanity focus. Been pretty good. It is a beautiful arm. Honestly, probably should change stuff up to allow myself to get through this section quicker, because there are a lot of enemies. For the most part, though, I think getting the notes is going to be straightforward, and I'm fingers crossed hoping that this is where the Emma I'm missing is. The good news is going to each Emma spot is worthwhile just because I get dried carcasses and junk. Rinko, what are you doing here? Alright, there should be a note in here. Rinko's room. This one, I'm assuming. How arrogant I've been. I realize now that the hatred and envy I felt toward Hinako for having a boy who loved her far outweighed my own love for Shu. Wow. So we just had to get to New Game +3 to get character development. I really am stupid, aren't I? Hinako always said that she and Shu weren't dating, and yet I wasted such a valuable opportunity. I could have asked her so much about him. What does Shu like? What does Shu care about? What does Shu think about me? I could have asked her all of this, but I didn't. Instead, I stewed in my own jealousy. Like an idiot. Hold up notebook paper. Did I miss this? I've been blessed with an easy life. Happy with kind parents who are well off. I never doubted myself, not even once. But then one day I met you, lost and alone as you were, and then I felt contempt, irritation, disgust, envy. Now that I think about it, you taught me all the emotions children are supposed to learn during childhood. Not for you, I might have stayed a big fish, content in my happy little pond. Now, I've outgrown Ebisugaoka. That is the gift you gave me, so today, what I really want to say to you is thank you. No, I can't read this in front of other people. Start over. I don't know how, like, a marriage ceremony would go. Would that have been, like, a speech for the marriage? Or is that something else? That's like to read in front of people, so would she have toasted it? Is that how it works? Anyways, that was wholesome. I don't think that's related to the trophy, but any new note's a good note. Alright, I think the bulk of the notes are going to be in here. Handwriting suggests that this was written in a fit of rage. All I want was to be by Shu's side, but you just kept getting in my way. Why were you always right there? You were seriously like a fly, buzzing around Shu non-stop. You were such a nuisance, I wanted to strangle you, so be glad I didn't end up murdering you. Even if I killed you 100 times, that still wouldn't be enough to express how much I despise you. Looking back on it now, I think I hated myself so much for being a coward that I just used you as an excuse. I won't do that anymore. From now on, I won't blame others for why I'm miserable. I'll take my happiness into my own hands. Handwriting is back to normal. I like how... Did it say it was... Oh, it does. Written in a fit of rage. Seriously like a fly. Alright. Like, I don't know, man. I like this, but do I have to really play through the game a third time to get this stuff? So I don't think that's a diary entry. This is what we're looking for. Class, maybe? This isn't really a diary either. Class observation log. Comments from the teacher. Thank you for always fulfilling your duties as class president. You do a great job looking after and supporting your classmates. I've also heard you're taking the initiative to give advice to underclassmen as well. It's a wonderful thing that you're so dedicated to your role as class president. However, I believe it would be beneficial if you interacted with them not only as their class president, but as a classmate as well. Instead of solely teaching and supporting them, try treating them as equals. In doing so, I hope you can open up more and have your classmates get to know the real you. There's supposed to be like 2 notes. These guys always freak me. I think I'm supposed to be able to get here. No, that's a divine water. I mean, I'll take it. Do I have to activate the light? Well, no, because this screws all this up. I got one diary. I'm sure the teacher has been have seen right through me. They know the truth that I am friendless in the truest sense of the word. I think I've been doing it unconsciously all this time, looking for someone I can say that I'm helping, but I'm really just looking down on. Hinako and Sakugo and Shu have never stopped calling me their friend, but I don't think I ever earned that. Renko's diary. I should have never pretended to be something I wasn't. If I hadn't, then I would have been able to look Hinako in the eye. Could have told her what I really think of her, put her in her place. But I've let everything sit and fester, and now the wound has turned necrotic. So even though this is the day all my wildest dreams are coming true, my heart still feels heavy. The handwriting is chaotic and full of violent energy. This is the bet I made, so I'll lie in it, but I won't ever forgive you for what you did to Shu. How dare you hurt him? Shu may not cry or scream at you like I know he wants to, but I'll make you feel his pain all the same. Don't tell me like because I didn't find this note the last couple times that the other ones don't show up. So there's one more note in here, and if I collected them all I should get a trophy, so either I missed one in the school, or already got it, or it didn't spawn for some reason. Maybe because I screwed up in a different playthrough. I think I do have to, make this dark world to get it, though. These candies. Hope a guy doesn't spawn. Is he immediately aggressive? He sure is. Like, I feel like this would have been a nice situation to have him not be aware of your presence, and you could kind of, like, sneak by him if you wanted to. Because this was also before they tried to power trip you with the fox arm. So you could still kind of have the, like, I'm afraid feeling. Don't know where you at. There you are, Renko's diary. I've always looked down on Hinako and Sakugo. That's why I've never been able to expose my weakness to them. How am I supposed to share the depths of my heart with mere insects? Maybe if I had treated them as equals, I could have actually told Hinako the truth. About my feelings, or his feelings. Maybe if we could have actually fought, really truly fought, that I wouldn't have to feel the way I do now. Tomorrow is Hinako's oh-so-special day, but you know what? Maybe I'll give in. Maybe I'll tell her how much I actually hate her. The handwriting here turns into a disturbing scrawl. You lied to me. You betrayed Shu. I will destroy you. I'm going to beat you bloody, then tear you limb from limb. Why won't you just do everything I favor and just... I can't make out what the rest says. A little mixed messages on this. I do feel a bit... Alright, there you are. I do feel a little bit more understanding of Renko. She's still a little bit of a scuffed individual. Alright. Take those heads. I do have Turtle on right now. I don't know if that's actually helping in conjunction with Tanuki, but boy am I just barely taking any damage, so I think it kind of is working. Ah, spooky. Good news, I did get the trophy, so I must have collected all of them. Maybe I didn't realize one of them was a Renko diary. Maybe it was actually in playthrough 2 that I had gotten it. But we're all good. Again, I appreciate the notes. I just don't really appreciate having to play through the game a whole other time to get more context. I feel like there could have been like a better place to put those or something. Anyways, off to Sakugo. Sakugo's diary. Hinako really is fast when she goes all out, But when we're running together during gym class, she'll slow her pace down to match mine. I thought you said she didn't do that. The second she can go her own speed, though, she takes off with the look of unrestrained joy on her face. I'm kind of like that, honestly. I'll stay in pace with people when I walk. Not running related, I guess. But man, do I like booking it. I always said that we had to do everything together, get boyfriends together, even get married together. Those were the selfish wishes of a child. Just like I'm a slow runner and Hinako is fast, people have to live life at their own pace. Just because Hinako's moving a bit faster than me doesn't mean she's betraying me. I was jealous and I couldn't even admit that to myself. I'm sorry, Hinako, for calling you a traitor. So I'm still... I guess all of these notes are to be taken at face value then. Because otherwise, like, it's weird for Hinako to, like, rationalize everyone being like, you know what, I forgive you, Hinako, for getting married. Because I kind of assumed that with the, a lot of these notes, that it might have been Hinako rationalizing, like, leaving her friends behind, like, oh, well, Rinko is a bitch, so it's okay. Or, like, Sakugo hated my guts, so it's fine that I'm leaving. But no, this is just straight up how they felt. And, you know, it's still, like, one of those things of, like, a person is a multifaceted creature. They can feel that jealousy, they can feel that betrayal, but that doesn't necessarily mean they actually hate a person. So it's, realistically, it's not like, Sakugo and Rinko are bad people. Except for the fact that Rinko might have actually just pushed Hinako down the stairs. In which case, what a bitch. But, I don't know how much I'm supposed to take serious with, like, any of this. So then, like, when we fight them as boss fights, is it... I really am just brute-forcing fights. Power of easy difficulty here. With the thing with the boss fights, it's during the whole, like, marriage aspect of the story. So, are we to assume then that... I don't care, I haven't used healing items in forever. Are we to assume then that, like, it happened... Like, what? What did Sakugo do during her boss fight? I skipped that cutscene. She showed up, she probably said something that would have given me more insight, but it's too late now. Rinko, we kind of just have a spat, so maybe that, note we had from her that said that, like, maybe I should just actually tell her how I feel and be angry. Like, we finally had, like, an argument instead of her being a passive-aggressive individual. Page from an observation log. Hey, Mr. Rabbit, guess what? I heard Hinako's gonna go somewhere far, far away and she might never, ever come back. I'm so alone and sad. No frowns allowed. It's a good thing. I gotta smile as I say goodbye to Hinako. Tomorrow I'm gonna show Hinako my biggest, widest grin when I tell her how happy I am for her. Glad I went down here. Not related to getting an achievement, but still gotta love bonus notes. Oh my god. Soul Siphon's stupid. Did I? Oh, okay, I did get Soul Siphoned. It's such a, like, annoying process. Just a little addition to complicate things. I guess it makes sense if you want to, like, avoid having players fight creatures. Oh, there's a doll here. Oh, I'm being bodied. Ah, stop it! But then, like, when you have the arm and Soul Siphon's just another thing you have to do. I guess it's supposed to be a way that you can get beast mode, but that's also stupid. Sorry, I'm complaining a bit. I think the last note should just be up here. That's not the note. There's the note. Sakugo's diary. I had a strange dream last night. In it, a god appeared before me and commanded me to restore Senninsugi Shrine to its former glory. I had a strange dream today. In it, someone told me that I mustn't restore Senninsugi Shrine. Who? They must be revelations from opposing gods, but I already know my answer, because my dream is to restore Senninsugi Shrine too. The god who spoke to me yesterday said that there is an evil deity who has robbed them of their shrine. The god who spoke to me today said that the shrine had been used to worship an evil being, causing it to fall out of use. I'm sorry, I am kind of... I'm a little confused on the names of like which shrine would be which, related to which thing. So, evil deity who has robbed them of their shrine. I would assume that would be Inari, because Inari took over as the god in charge. The shrine had been used to worship an evil being. The water dragon? Dragon these nuts? Sorry. If I'm going to be forced to make a choice, then I will put my trust in the god who visited me yesterday. However, when I told the god from today that, they said this. The handwriting here looks nothing like Sakugo's. Foolish maiden, you wish to serve a malevolent god. I shall crush that empty head of yours. So, and someone told me that I mustn't restore some Masugi shrine. I already know my answer because I dreamed to restore the shrine. There's an evil deity who has robbed them of their shrine. The god who spoke to me yesterday, last night, today. So yesterday was the one that said restore it. Said the shrine had been used to worship an evil being. Restore it and destroy it. I will put my trust in the god who visited me yesterday, because that's what she wants to do. You serve him a living... Oh, journal update. Perfect. Could use those. That might help. Generally speaking, Inari-sama refers to the goddess of agriculture, Akano Mitama. The fox was the goddess's messenger, but over time their worship became intertwined. Nowadays, if anyone mentions Inari-sama, they'll think of the fox as well. Sakugo says that this is just the fox taking the goddess of agriculture's position for itself. She also says that the goddess and the fox are having a supernatural fight on top of Inari statues. That wild imagination of hers never fails to make me laugh. That is a funny thing, a supernatural fight on top of the statues. I feel like there's probably some parallels you can make of like the... I would assume the fox is masculine, if only because of Fox Mask. But like him kind of taking charge and being in the position of power over the goddess might be related to some stuff. So I need to like kind of look into this note real quick. Lonely little shrine situation in the outskirts of town. This is the one by the tree, right? All is gone well. Even though Ebisugaoka is full of elderly believers, the shrine rarely gets any visitors, and inside goes on close to them, and that's the Inari statue. Or is this the Inari statue that's way out there? Serve the shrine. Or no, is this the one where Sakugo was, where we got her key? See, I'm so all over the place. Forgotten Shrine is the one that's the tree. Right, okay. Sakugo's family serves the shrine, including fulfilling the role of head priest. Sakugo is quite proud of this fact, but I don't know if the same could be said about her parents. Sakugo once said, Senninsugi Shrine didn't used to be the small shrine that we know. The real shrine was situated in the mountain, and it was much more impressive than it is now. So I think like that would be the Forgotten Shrine then. So I am kind of right, just in the wrong way. Long ago, there was an actual 1,000-year cedar that was worshipped. So I think Sakugo's dream is to rebuild the Forgotten Shrine, right? Like, this one's used, but it's not as useful or good. 1,000-year cedar that was worshipped as a divine vessel. Unfortunately, it was struck by lightning and burned to ash. Upon losing its divine vessel, the shrine was abandoned and became the small shrine it is present day. So yeah, because it was abandoned, was a forgotten shrine, and it basically moved to this small dinky one that no one goes to. Sakugo says that the custom of putting old tools to rest is called the Sukomogami faith. During the course of history, it somehow fused with the Inari faith, making it a special religion view. Only shrine in town, Sinisugi Shrine. The only shrine in town, Sinisugi Shrine, was, as its name suggests, worshipping a 1,000-year cedar as its divine tree. After living to see the 1,000 years, it was praised as divine. And then once the divine tree turned to ash, it was time to worship the next oldest thing. Sakugo reckons that it just so happens to be the moss-covered Inari statue. So, what would be the... the god itself isn't the water dragon, right? Once there was... I am sorry I'm rereading all this stuff, but I feel like it's important. Heard once there was a shrine in shambles near Shu's house, but I never knew it was here. She told me back then that there are treasures at the roots of the divine tree or something, the sword. Sakugo once told me that this place is where the real Sinisugi Shrine is. Right, okay, so yes, this is the actual important part. Sakugo's dream is to restore this shrine to its former glory, but would such a thing even be possible? I can't really imagine the town's elderly residents climbing all the way up here. People here used to worship the 1,000-year cedar, now they pray to the Inari statues. I'm starting to think that rather than some revered god, maybe we humans hold more power because we choose which gods to worship. True. That didn't really give me any information. Where's, Inari-sama? Mostly composed of Inari-sama believers. There are statues all over town. Great respect. Oinara-sama is a goddess that puts old unusable tools to rest. They are known for their offering preference of aburi aged tofu pierced through with an old needle. Seems like other towns don't have these customs though. Guessing they might be something special. We do. It's okay to take these tools for your own as long as you have use for them. This is called kishu, action that's considered virtuous. Teaching Inari-sama to make the most of tools. That didn't really help me. The Inari-sama of Ebisugaoka was been the guardian deity that has protected this town since the old days. They can be capricious at times. Sometimes they'll turn into foxes and steal chickens and dried. Okay, nothing really. When they fall in love with a woman they find desirable at first sight, they spirit them away to be their brides. None of that really helped. It did. I guess what I want actually then is to look at. Also, I think this is all of the notes. Is this the one I just got? Nope, I hate the dark. Where's the dream? Strange dream last night. Restore Sinisugi. I had a strange dream today. Mustn't restore. Spoke to me yesterday, said that there is an evil deity who has robbed them of their shrine. God who spoke to me today said that the shrine had been used to worship an evil being. I probably have to look at a lot more notes to get this back, but I don't know which ones I'm looking for. Sorry, so I know I've already, like, reread these, or I've read them before, but this one kind of drew my attention as what I was kind of looking for. Diary of Revenge. The monk brought people to a great... so there was a monk. Written a peculiar monk donning multiple masks and measuring over 10 shaku, approximately 3 meters in height, visited Ebisugaoka. Frankly, ridiculous overstatement. So, obviously, this calls into, I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is the Shu boss fight that we had in one of the endings. Multiple-faced monk that was tall. Don't know if that correlated to 3 meters. I don't know what, measuring distances looks like. The monk brought people to a great cedar tree, later to be idolized as the divine tree faith, and told them the following. You who fear the water dragon's wrath, quake no more, for the beast grows weak and prepares to slumber. It is none other than the great tree that has sapped the evil from it. Devoting yourself to this great tree, and it shall keep that beast subdued until the end of time. Upon hearing the monk's words, the people of Ebisugaoka abandoned the water dragon faith and converted to the divine tree faith. However, in time, the divine tree faith would also begin to change. Being a settlement hidden away from society, the residents had no way for trading with outside world, and so they were forced to treat their tools with extra care. It was from this unique culture that the Sukomogami faith was born. Local historic records state that old tools would be brought to the hollow of the divine tree and offer it to the god, once again further warping the religion. 23-meter tall monks, giant sacred cedars, and dragons, the humans simply sense divine presence or anything larger than themselves. How utterly ridiculous. So then the tree was struck by lightning. By the time the ideologies of the Succumb faith had taken root, and sacredness was now determined by the antiquity of an object, the divine tree was not worshipped for subduing the water dragon. Instead, it was only due to the fact that it was the oldest object in the area. And so a new divine object was decided upon, and that was the Inari statue. For long, the faith of the Inari statue itself developed, mixing with the Sumogami faith to create an amalgamation of beliefs completely unique. To this effect, the mongrel Inari faith here in Ebisugaoka has almost no likeness to the practice throughout the rest of Japan. Pathetic superficial history. Epic divine story of the priests. With the divine tree destroyed by lightning, the land lost its guardian, and the ancient evil water dragon attempts to rise from its slumber. Hearing the town's plight, a family of benevolent foxes traveled far from the west to subdue the dragon once more. People's faith in them bolstered their power, but without enough power, the dragon shall awaken once more. Okay, so I was gonna ask this, but this kind of might... Oop, oh, I fumbled my controller. Give me a minute. I completely lost where we were. Oh no, I lost my place. Okay, this is it. So, in the ending where we beat Fox Mask, the geysers started acting up again, which would be the water dragon, right? So, initially I was confused by that because the multi-faced monk would have won in that ending, I think. If we're going to pair them off as two opposing gods, Fox Mask is Inari-san and monk Sama, not San, sorry, excuse me. So we beat Inari-sama. I guess this then means without enough power, the dragon shall awaken once more. So the monk's peeved, wants to destroy Inari-sama or let Inari-sama be destroyed because Inari-sama took his like religion faith thing of the cedar tree. If we do weaken that god, the monk's not powerful enough to actually hold back the power of the dragon. So that's why the geysers still continue to rise up. So one last additional thing, I think I'm going to stop looking too much into this, but I've reread The Legend of the Sacred Sword. That, like, dark energy is the, like, resentment from the, refugees, defeated soldiers from the Terra clan. Very specifically, it is mentioned in a lot of this spiritual harmony that inhibits the sword's animosity. So the sword itself is basically cursed with all of their, like, anger of the deceased. So that's what we see with that. So, okay, the infusion cleanses you of any evil spirits, but it will also destroy your very self from the inside out. So when Hinako drank that in the wedding, Fox wedding ending, obviously got rid of that dark cloud of animosity, but because of that, it kind of allowed her to fully commit to being the new married Hinako, and that's kind of why she was able to leave her old self behind in that kind of fucked up ending. Alright, I'm done reading stuff. That was interesting, useful information, but I overall don't know exactly what to take from all of it, beyond just I don't know if we are to take all of this god talk. One more thing I guess I want to look at is Sakugo's note again. By the way, good news. I did get all of her notes, so, got that achievement. The, God appeared before me and commanded me to restore the shrine to its former glory. Would have been the monk. Inari-sama said I don't do that. They must be opposing gods. The god who spoke to me, and unless if it would be someone else and not Inari, I feel like the goddess isn't really involved in this situation, but I guess it could be her. It must be revelation from opposing gods, but I already know my answer because my dream is to restore the shrine. God who spoke to me yesterday said that there is an evil deity who has robbed them of their shrine, Inari-sama. The god who spoke to me today said that the shrine had been used to worship an evil being, causing it to fall out of use. I mean, I guess that you could just be saying that the monk is evil. Because, like, so what we read was that the water dragon was worshipped for a bit, but then the monk was like, hey, check it out, this cedar drains the water dragon of his power. And then eventually that, because of the lightning strike, that lost any, it didn't really lose anything, it's just that people decided not to worship it anymore and went with Inari-sama, who then became the one that protected it from the water dragon. They said, foolish maiden, you wish to serve a malevolent god, and I shall crush you. So, is the Sakuko boss fight supposed to be her, like, possessed by that god? Because that was like a situation where Fox Mask says, that wasn't supposed to be able to come in here, that messed up being. So I would assume we're to believe that the monsters are, like, opposing forces. And that would explain... So, the doll, I think, is the monk manifested trying to get us away from the Fox Mask ending. Because, you know, the doll's like, no, don't do that. When I was young, I didn't want to play with the girls anymore. It hates me throwing it away and abandoning it. When all this is over, I'll ask my mom for a way to put it to rest. So, thrown away and abandoned would kind of correlate with the god being thrown away and abandoned. So, the manifestation of it being a doll could make sense in that regard. I think a big problem, too, is I may be a little too confused about how religions really work in this regard. Because, like, all of the putting tools to rest is kind of a thing that applies to both of the religions, it seems like. But it seems like more of an action than anything. I don't know, I'm all over the place. Why is the lantern important? Evil warding lantern. Like, why does this have a journal entry? So, right here, in main hall, first floor, is the Emma that I missed. I had to reload a save because I wasn't recording when I found it. So here it is. Technically not the last Emma. There's one bonus Emma for New Game++, third playthrough, that we will get, but I have technically collected all of them at this point. Family physician log, February 16th. It's a miracle. How could this be? The two daughters' symptoms have improved dramatically. February 18th. Both patients have made a full recovery. I do not understand it one bit. Could this be the phenomenon that cannot be explained through scientific means? A phenomenon. There exists no record in any literature of a disease or toxin that could lead to such a cruel illness. Such a dramatic recovery as the two daughters experienced has likewise never been documented. Now the housemaids are whispering about a supposed curse, yet I can no longer chide them and insist science can prove all. I can't insist. But the last of that, no. There's supposed to be a trophy related to that. I might have missed more of those. There's one more, like, document that I have on the list, but if the family physician is something I could have found at any given time, then oh well. But I also don't really remember every detail about the family physician, though. But, yeah, so once I get the other M, I'll be able to hopefully have enough faith to fully upgrade this. I know we get a lot from the house, so we should be good. I imagine I still need to go through the effort of collecting the, well, it looks like it might be done already, because that's all blood, and do I still need to get the, bottle? Yes, so it was good for me to come back here. Medicine bottle with Hotai-sama, the monk engraved on it, contains a red liquid. There's a monk on it that contains a red liquid. You know, it's all words. I said most of the words, it's fine. So, we should be good to go, I believe, for the ending. I need to purify the sword still. But yeah, I'd imagine I do have to actually come back here for the bottle. Although, I think the bottle's unrelated to the, purification process. I think that's only requires the puzzle to be solved. But just in case I did it. The other version of myself and I have talked for many nights now. Through these fervent discussions, I have come to the conclusion that Hinako needs to speak to her inner self, just as I have. It's clear she's not currently in her right mind. Why else would she even consider accepting that farce of a marriage that has been pushed upon her otherwise? There's no point in trying to force Hinako's opinion to change. She must make the realization for herself for it to stick. If she could just talk to her other self within her dreams, I'm positive she could be led back to rationality. And then she would realize just who truly has her best interests in mind. Goddamn Shu, you freak. To be honest, now is a good time to talk about it. I have seen a little bit of a discussion regarding this game that I never really put two and two together because I do kind of forget this is a Silent Hill game at times. But there is kind of a big connection to be made to the series as a whole. And what that really comes down to are these white peonies over here, which very much are likely to be white Claudias from Silent Hill 1 and 3. I guess 3, I don't remember them being too involved, but this is the kind of parts of Silent Hill that I'm not great at being familiar with. So let's read back through these clinic trials real quick. I began taking the medicine out of desperation. My first impression was that it smells of peaches and is faintly sweet. After taking it before bed for the past 3 nights, I had my first lucid dream. For the whole night, I was able to organize my thoughts in a pleasant darkness. Was this what the tale meant when they said the drug allows you to speak with your inner self? I've heard that taking vitamin B6 makes it easier to remember dreams. However, I'm sure its effectiveness depends on factors like dosage and body composition. At any rate, this has been a letdown so far. It has now been 2 weeks since I began taking Kakura Makakura. I've observed no significant physical changes. If anything, I've been falling asleep and waking with ease. I have lucid dreams on average of once every 2 days. When I do, I feel neither the passage of time nor exhaustion, which allows me to become lost in thought. However, today I was met with a startling result. In my dream, there was another version of myself who spoke to me, and then we read that one right now. So he mentioned Kakura Makakura. There exists a wonderful medicine that the Bataran missionary is said to have brought to Nagasaki during the Tensho era. It was a drug used during meditation by individuals to speak with their inner selves. It said that your thoughts and powers of this medicine, individuals become able to delve into their utmost... Excuse me, I'm really bumbled that sentence. It is said that through the power of this medicine, individuals become able to delve into their innermost selves. Everyone possesses an inner you. And inside that inner you is another inner you, and inside that inner you. The endless repeating chain was named Kakura Makakura, a term from an old Nagasaki dialect referring to nesting structures. And then this is the bigger one, I think. Although the most famous translated Western medical book remains the new text on anatomy, there was a peculiar work by the name of exotic herbology. in the 5th year of the Anai era. Strange as the text was, it has largely been forgotten by history. A foreign missionary brought this text to Japan along with a curious medicine that would supposedly allow one to speak with divine spirits. This drug came to be known as Kakura Makakura by locals. However, in order to have contact with the gods, one must first liberate one's soul. However, upon doing so, the individual will fall into a temporary state of unconsciousness, potentially leaving them vulnerable to malevolent spirits. So, with all of that, it kind of seems like maybe Shu isn't necessarily a bad person for giving Hinako the drugs. It kind of sounds like Shu took the drugs, expecting results, and he got results, but he became vulnerable to malevolent spirits, which is why he had the Kingdom Hearts, like, smelly darkness cloud on him when we did his boss fight in the Fox ending. So if he's possessed by, I guess it would be the monk, since he became that, then that possessed monk might have, like, influenced him into saying, you know, Hinako could really use some of this possession too. So Shu being possessed is like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And started giving Hinako the pills. Because she also had Kingdom Hearts smelly darkness gas in that ending. And that's, I mean, again, I'm one of those freaks that only focuses mainly on liking Silent Hill 2 for that kind of psychological stuff. So the cult stuff is a little out of my wheelhouse. I vaguely know details, but I'm not that deep into it. But like, the White Claudia was used as a drug in Silent Hill 1. It was peddled around, and it has very heavy ties to the cult stuff. So it having this function of talking to gods or being entwined in the spiritual realm stuff makes sense with that. That being said, look at all the puzzles I skipped. Hotai-sama then, I guess, would just translate to the red liquid from, it had a name, from Silent Hill 1 that was crystallized in Silent Hill 3 and used in, like, that kind of ending to, abort God. So this is not the note I would want, I think, unless if it's on the second page. Double-edged swords, both miraculous elixir and a dangerous poison. That is, if one harbors any guilt inside their hearts, then not only shall the infusion cleanse you of any evil spirits, but will also destroy your very self. Cleansing of evil spirits, it would have gotten rid of the possession, I guess, from White Claudia, which it was used in Silent Hill 1 to help Sybil and also to stop the final process of birthing a god in Silent Hill 1, and then it was used also to abort God in Silent Hill 3. So that all makes sense and correlates pretty well. I'm curious if there's more notes on Hotai-sama I'm gonna look into, but like that's kind of the big thing there, and I think that's neat. I just am a fake Silent Hill fan that had no, like, I didn't think about White Claudia at all, or the special red juice. Alright, let's quickly purify this sword real quick. And never use it. Because my knives are too strong. It's the ultimate build, god damn it. I don't even, like, all of these health items I haven't healed at all in this game because the Tanuki is too powerful. So, I guess the malevolent spirit of the sword itself isn't entirely related to anything. It's just the anger of the soldiers that had to flee and died. But this also is necessary for the ending, so it probably is related to something. It's just like, there's a lot of notes I could be looking at. I tried looking for more on the Hotai, the red stuff, but I guess saying I can take a stand on my own might also be Hinako saying that she doesn't need the Pill's evil spirit. Is this a new thing, or just because I didn't do this in this ending, I guess? Like, it could still be considered the monk. Especially if it's related to the tree because they buried it there to get cranky with the spirits. I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing. So, based on the other notes then, we can assume that this event caused him to get possessed by Inari-sama, excuse me. Which, I guess, made his life better. It gave him good fortune. Which might also explain the ending of the family physician notes. Because it was the family was in turmoil. People were dying and everything. But they found an heir that was half-blood, I guess. Because he was a bastard child. And once he came into the picture, it seemed like everything started to come up for his family. So, I guess that all makes sense. So very much we are, I think, heading towards a more religious kind of ending. They kind of had their, maybe religious is the wrong word, cult-like ending. Also maybe a wrong word. God ending. Let's go with that. Like, it's all supernatural, so that doesn't matter. But it's like the, first handful of endings and how the game played out felt more Silent Hill 2, and now we're kind of veering into... Actually, we tricked you. It was Silent Hill 1 all along. Was that, the mom talking to the dad? Also, this third playthrough has been pretty easy because I am beefed. I have not changed my, Omamari's outside of having to change them for the Fox Arm gameplay. And, yeah, the wolf plus the weasel and keeping my durability topped off has helped greatly to make this an easier process. So I believe over here is where I need to go to do the last step of this. And also is where the actual final Emma is. But this was not available until playthrough 3. So here, I need to offer the brooch. Which I think basically amounts to not having the Inari-sama influence. We purified the sword. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, ending 2 and 3 were basically being more influenced one way or the other. But we're doing this and purifying the sword to basically remove those influences. Because I think the Fox Wedding ending was don't take the sword or purify it. Oh, it got nasty. So not having too much of that influence on you allowed Inari-sama to fully take over or do what they needed to do. But that also just means that the monk... I don't need a toolkit. The monk would have been the most powerful. I don't know. I think I'm grasping it. Maybe just not fully. Only partially. All I know is I have 3 kitchen knives now. I was already pretty unstoppable to begin with, but now... Well, that's bullshit that you just immediately started attacking me. Technically, we always have 4 weapons now. So I have the last Emma I need. I just need to get more stuff, but I think that's all going to be in the family house and should be good enough to get the final upgrade to that. So we might see a lot more new cutscenes. We might only see some partial memories that are going to be new. We'll figure it out. Oh, I can't do these anymore because I gave up the brooch. Damn it. Oh well. Doesn't matter. I think I already have enough faith to... What's going to be different here? Everyone? Okay. Married couple's letter. Kimi, tomorrow's the big day. I'm looking forward to seeing Hinako dressed as a bride. I still can't believe she's marrying that rich young man. We won't have to worry about money ever again, and I'm sure Hinako will be happy too. You must feel like a huge burden's been lifted off of your shoulders. Let's take life easy now. We can fulfill the dream of yours of going to every onsen in Japan. If there are any other wishes you want to come true, just say the word. It's Mom's handwriting from here. Kanta, my dream is to hear you say such sweet words to me directly, not on paper. Damn. They really just wanted to get rid of Hinako. I guess the money is obviously the big thing there. But it was, you know, someone else was like gambling money away or something. Or they were in debt. Do we know specifically that he was gambling? I think so. Or, I don't know what sometimes I just assume. Or is actually what was said. I think he was gambling though. But he's also, I mean... Hinako would be marrying a rich boy, so they could do anything. That's definitely going to be enough to level up. Guess what, guys? You're looking at a maxed out Hinako. Feels good. Now I can play on Lost in Fog difficulty and still be annoyed at combat. By the end of all of this, I kind of might as well, I feel like. I think that's going to be the only trophies I'm missing. I don't know how well this build will work. I don't remember what the difficulties actually entail besides, like, getting faith is something you need to kind of prioritize more, but without having to use faith for upgrades, that's not really going to be too big of an issue. Having focus as an extra defense seems nice. And the majority of what I have is big, I don't even need to really pick up anything. I really need to just get through the dungeon now. Big damage from Weasel and Wolf. I'd imagine enemies do more damage, but with Tanuki we have 2 health bars. I don't know. I might play it. I might take a break because I am kind of exhausted from this game. Probably would be a good idea to get the UFO ending, since that's also supposed to give you a weapon. I don't know. We are going to see this through to the end. That's all that matters. My room? Whoa!
私はそういうものだと思って生きてきたから。だからお見合いの話が来た時も、今度は私の番なんだってそう思ったよ。お姉ちゃんは
どうして知らない人と結婚できたの？
親同士で話して仲人さんが入って、その上で私にふさわしい方と分かって紹介されたんだもの。出会うのは初めてでもきっと仲良くなれるって確信があったわ。恋愛結婚も素敵だと思うけれど、恋は盲目。
Love is
席を入れた
blind.
後に相手の嫌な面に気づいても遅いのよ。
Doesn't sound great.
私にはお姉ちゃんたちの言うことがよくわからないよ。
ひなこだって幸せな結婚をして幸せな人生を歩みたいでしょ。
そこが違うの。そこが多分私とお姉ちゃんの、私と世界の一番の違いなの。
違いって？
私、幸せになることが絶対に大切とは思ってないの。もちろん幸せにはなりたいよ。でもそれよりも大事なことがあるの。
それは何？
I want to be free.
自分で
Free to do what I want to
選
do.
択したかどうか。
I want to get
私はね、
loaded.
幸せにしてもらいたいんじゃない。自分で
That's what we're
選
gonna
んで
do.
幸せになりたいの。
We're gonna have a good
た
time.
とえ幸せになれなかったとしても、
I probably butchered
自
that.
分で選んだ結果はとても尊くて私には価値があるように思えるの。みんなが女の幸せと呼ぶもの、頼もしい旦那様と大勢の子供たち、そういうものと生涯無縁になるとしても構わない。私には幸せになれるかどうかよりも自分で運命を選べたかどうかが大事なの。
私には綺麗事に聞こえるけれどね。でもひな子の言うことが間違ってるとも思えない。あと100年、いやひょっとしたらもう少し早いかも。どんな結果だろうと自分で選んだ結果ならそれが幸せだとそうと言える時代がきっと訪れると思うわ。お姉ちゃんはその世界には行けないけれど、ひな子は行けるといいね。
どんな結果だろうとも自分で結果を選べることが幸せ。自分で選べなかった結果は幸せじゃないんだ。誰にも操らせない。私の選択は。
What's this poster about? Project from art class. My future self. Oh, it's blank. Shimizu Hinako. The canvas is blank. Even now, imagining the countless possibilities of what I could fill all the blank space with makes me excited. I feel like you just wanted to get fancy and be like, oh, well, you know, it's like blank because the reflection of yourself is an empty canvas, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna arrange this music piece where I don't actually play the piano because there's gonna be background noise, and that's art in itself. Alright, I forgot this is where the weight puzzle was.
昔これで遊んでた。
I want it to just
そんな
be
ところがある。
Hinako. Well, she is pretty heavy, not needing anyone. Everyone else can just be there. That seems like that might actually be the case. That seems symbolic enough. Yeah. She don't need no one. Bird pattern is in a different place. That's interesting. I guess not that interesting. It's just going to be that the cutscene that plays is going to be in the parents' room instead. No, thank you. Just gonna squeeze on over here. See a vision. Never mind, it's a full cutscene.
ちょっとおいでなさい。
Do we have time for this? There's a pregnant lady chasing after me.
お母さん、ひな子の誤解を。
I'm gonna tell you the real story.
誤解って？
ひな子はお母さんのこと、お父さんにいつもいじめられてるって思ってる？
そんなこと。
No, you do think that.
確かにお父さんはちょいと短気な人だけど、娘の前ではいい格好がしたいだ
He's just
けの
shy.
照れ屋な人なんだよ。
He's just a shy guy throwing knives at his daughter.
父さんはね、ずっと夢があったの。自分と友達で小さなお店を持ちたいって。
夢？
Am I supposed to feel bad for him?
そう。
I don't know if I can. Renko I kind of feel bad for. I don't know so much if I can handle that with the father. I'm sure this will get us new notes
お
on
父
the
さん
family.
は仲のいいお友達がいてね。船に乗っていた頃からかな。弟みたいに可愛いっていつも言ってた。でもね、何かあったんだろうね。急にお父さんが貯めてたお金全部持って逃げちゃった。
Okay. Maybe I do feel a little bad now.
どうしようもない理由があったんだろうね。悪い人には見えなかったから。お父さん、それですごく傷ついてね。荒れてた時期があったの。落ち着くといつも私には
That's not
謝ってくれた
great.
よ。でもね、
Yeah, he might be abusive, but he
子
apologizes.
供には弱い父親の姿を見せたくないからって。男の人はプライドが高いから。
だからって家族を傷つけていいわけがない。
Yeah, no, I agree, Hinako. This isn't helping. This doesn't change anything.
きっと家に入ると女は男に虐げられるってそう思い込んじゃってるんだろうね。
No! What the
でも
fuck?
ね、あんたが思ってるほど女もお母さんも弱くはないんだよ。お父さんなんて娘の前ではカッコつけて威張ってるけど、あんたたちがいない時は全然違うんだから。以前お母さんとお父さん大喧嘩したことがあるの。
知らない。そんなことあったの？
Only the once, though.
お父さんが謝ってくるまで徹底的に無視してやったよ。あんたたちがいる前では普通に振る舞ってたけどね。おかずもお父さんの嫌いなものばっかりにして、お茶に
Yeah, that's the best way to get back at him.
入れてやったこともあるの。
I pissed in his tea just to show him what's what.
信じられない。
お父さん、たったの3日で値を上げたよ。あんたと純子が寝静まった後、そこにベターっと土下座してね。
お父さんが本当に？
You just have to be super mega passive aggressive.
私と
That's how you win.
本気で喧嘩をしたら、お父さんが私に勝てるわけないじゃない。でもね、
I'm like getting mixed messages on all of this,
それ
really.
は私たち夫婦の話。娘のお前に心配かけたのは本当に申し訳ないと思ってるよ。
I do like the track that's playing, though. Like, I get the idea is that the parents put on a strong face. But it still comes off as like, nah, but take the abuse, though. Only sometimes I'll stand up to him and piss in his tea, but most of the time, you just gotta take it. It's supposed to be tears falling. That was kind of a weird angle. And also seemed like very large plops of tears.
話してくれてありがとう。お母さん。
that the pregnant lady getting angry? That music sting was funny. Alright, I didn't even think about the fact that I would get... sadly not from the other guy. Large fox monster, ferocious and agile. On top of all that, he can even summon his underlings to the fray. His beautiful coat, however, is covered with putrid festers. The 7 lavish tails symbolize his youth and divinity. I do still have the other save, so I can definitely go back and load that save up to look at the details on him. Did I notice this before? It showing both of us in here? No, that's new, but... Mom. My mom smiled through tears of joy when Junko got married. Was she really so happy to be sending her daughter off to suffer the same fate as her? Did she raise her just to be beaten and abused by some man? But you know what she said, sometimes you just gotta do that. What even is a bride price anyway? Why do they make a profit off of Junko getting married? Did they get more money because they taught her how to cook and sew? Well, I won't learn those things. You won't make a single yen off of me. I won't be like my mother. Not now, not ever. I thought we got like a... Okay, this is a reconciliation part. Why did my mother even marry him in the first place? How could anyone possibly call themselves happy having to spend their entire life with someone like that? Mom once told me a husband and wife support each other for the whole of their lives, in sickness and in health. You see, it took me a long time to recover after giving birth to you. I caused your father a lot of trouble with my mood swings. But no matter how much I complained, he stood by me through it all without so much as a frown. I know he may not have turned out to be much of a father to you girls, but all in all, he's been a good enough husband to me. That's all that matters, I guess. Jesus. Like, I guess overall what we're getting is it's complicated, but it doesn't sound like a good kind of complicated. No new note on Dad with that. We might get one after the, boss fight. It'd be nice if it was different. Hopefully. Junko, though, we do have actually an addition. I wonder if we got this from the, talk in my room. Junko says that she is happy, but I just don't get it. Neither she nor my mom ever look happy. Then again, when I tell her about my ideas of happiness, she just says that those don't sound very happy to her at all. What matters most to my sister are results. What matters most to me is choice. Even if it's what makes my sister happy, if I can't make my own choices, then I will be unhappy forever. But if what makes me happy doesn't give my sister the results she wants, then she will be unhappy. Yeah, but that's not her problem, is it? Though our concepts of happiness may differ, I think as sisters we can respect each other's versions of it and take comfort when we know the other has found it. That's nice. Where's the thing I need to collect? I don't think I grabbed anything. There we go. Crazy that they had me looking outside like I was about to leave without actually getting what I needed. Kanta, I shall be brief and to the point. About my uncle. It is very unfortunate about Kimi, I'm sorry, and I understand why you would want her to go ahead with the surgery. I guess that's what the pills were for. But surgery can do more harm than good. Remember how Mother never properly recovered from hers? I understand how you feel, I really do, but please reconsider before taking on debt for an operation that might not even make her better. Wouldn't Kimi rather you try to enjoy the time you have left together? Either way, you need to talk it out with Kimi first. Knowing you, you probably haven't said a word of this to her yet, have you? I can't cover the whole operation, but I'll send what little I have to spare. Buy Kimi something nice with it. Got it? Shotaro. I need to, like, look. So, like, I don't really feel anything for the dad. He seems like, he is abusive. Like, that's not something that's like, oh, you're misunderstanding. He's quick to anger and he is abusive. That's not a negotiable thing. Solve the puzzle. I didn't actually read this yet. White and black fought, battling upon a set of scales, yet neither wanted for the scale, for what they desired was simply a quiet gray place where they could belong together. Whether we flee or spread our wings and fly is our decision alone, one to make only once we are ready. They had no use for those who towered from the heavens, imposing their will on others. So Okay, so the sword also would be the difference between, Inari-sama too. The sword scales, I think, are fine, and then who cares about the gods? Nope. Screwed that one up. I guess because I'm on easier difficulty, they highlight it what's important. Is that how that works? Does it also go into more detail? White and black fought, battling upon a set of scales. Neither wanted the scales for what they desired or simply a quiet gray place where they could belong together. Maybe that means nothing but them. No use for those who towered. I think these guys need to be like in separate spots. Didn't really imply that. Except for white and black, maybe. They could belong. I guess together means they have to be next to each other. Whether we flee or spread our wings and fly is our decision alone. One to make once we're ready. But I don't know how I would combine them. Can be attacked. Where did you come from? Let me solve puzzles in peace. God. These guys, I thought they only came in afterwards. Nope, never mind. That was a different one. So I have no idea where the other guy came from then. Phew. Glad I dealt with that. Alright, back to puzzle solving. I don't get it. What was that about? So, let me just look at it from the journal. White and black fought. Makes sense it would be the white bird and black bird in that order just because of that. Neither wanted for the scale for what they desired was simply a quiet gray place where they could belong together. I mean, that makes sense the scale isn't necessary together. When do they make their own decision? For those who tower from the heavens imposing their will. No use. I guess I don't really get the yin-yang cloud part of that, but whatever, it's solved. No one here? Never mind.
Hinako, 今少しいいか?
Probably gonna get the father thing now.
なんかよ。
お前に謝っておこうと思ってな。
Sorry about the whole knife thing.
俺は情けない父親だった。長い間怒鳴ったり怖がらせたりして悪かった。
今頃謝ってなかったことになんかなるわけないでしょ。あれだけ長いことみんなに迷惑かけて全部チャラになるなんて本気で思ってるの？
思ってない。お前の気持ちを考えれば到底許せるわけもない。
I think it's gonna be crazy when we have like an actual boss fight with the parents again. Unless if we skip that part.
俺に謝らせてくれ。許してくれなくて構わないから。
はあ、あんた一人がスッキリしたいからってだけで勝手に謝ってるの？迷惑だよ。帰ってよ。今だって急に怒り出して包丁を投げつけてこないか怖くてたまらないんだから。
子供に怖がられるくらいが
I believe that knife would have set you straight.
誤解していたんだ。
Why do you believe that? I guess social norms?
勝手にこれからもそうしててよ。出てってよ。 それでもお父さんは謝ってくれてる。許す許さないは私たちの勝手だけど、お父さんの謝りたいっていう気持ちまでも無限にはできないよ。お父さんの都合なんか知らないよ。家族だよ。それでも
You don't turn your back on family.
お父さんが裏切られて辛い目にあったって、辛い理由があったから乱暴も許せっていうの？そんなのまかり通らない。そう、まかり通らない。許す必要もない。縁を切り、言い訳も謝罪も聞いてやる義理は確かにない。でもね、家族の縁は切れないんだよ。
This game would be a lot better if Hinako was just Vin Diesel.
許さなくてもいいけれど、聞いてあげなくちゃ。お父さんの気持ちだけは受け止めてあげて。お母さんはお父さんを許しているのかもしれないけど、私には無理。知ってる？私たちとお父さんは血がつながっているけど、お父さんとお母さんは血なんかつながってないんだよ。結婚したってだけの赤の他人のお母さんがお父さんの話を聞いて許せたんだよ。どうして血のつながりのある私たちが話も聞いてあげられないの？
Crazy how Fog Hinako has like all these words of wisdom just from that mom interaction, I guess.
怖かったと思う。今も怖いと思う。許せないと思うし、顔も見たくない気持ちもわかる。それでも話だけは聞いてあげて。許さなくてもいいから、お父さんの気持ちだけは受け止めてあげて。
もし俺のせいで男というものに恐怖を覚えているなら、それは誤解だ。
I'm really getting down to it, the fear of men, yeah?
ろくでなしだが他の父親たちは違う。
Were you hearing Hinako talk to herself, or...?
琴行君、立派な青年だ。彼なら絶対にお前を幸せにしてくれる。付き合いの長い柊君、立派な男だけどな。あいつならお前をやれるとずっと思っている。しかしそんなのは俺の勝手な決めつけで、結婚するもしないもお前が自分で決めて構わない。俺を許さなくていいから、俺の呪縛から解放されて幸せに生きてくれ。今まですまなかった。
I kind of really wish they would have actually animated the father for this, like they did with the mother. It is very interesting that Hinako is allowed to have her choice.
許せるかどうかわからないけど、お父さんの気持ちだけは受け取ったから。
I don't know if I understand you either. After, was that? Okay. After Dad saved up enough money from fishing, he decided to start up a restaurant with his longtime friend, someone who was like a little brother to him. That friend, however, stabbed him in the back and ran off with all his money, leaving him with nothing but debt. Apparently, that's when things really started heading south for my dad. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I do sympathize with him, but his past is his problem, not mine. And it definitely doesn't excuse him for making every day a living hell for me. When it's just him and my mom, he apologizes for the life of poverty he's forced us into due to his debts. According to Mom, there's nothing more shameful in this world to a father than letting his daughter see his weak side. That, like, makes sense in a way, but if he acts the way he does to me just to hide something as dumb as that, then I think I might just go crazy right now. This house is theirs. It has nothing to do with me. I was just born here. I may be Hinako, the little bird, but I have wings of my own. And if he doesn't care about how I want to live my life, then I'll just spread my wings and fly away. Wherever I choose to go will be entirely up to me. So, I assume him saying, like, leave this curse is talking about that debt. He did gamble, right? Or did we just know he had debt and I assumed he gambled? Obviously, he has debt because he lost all of his money to who he thought was his friend. But also, mom's sick, so he needs money for that. I have no idea where notes would be. Where did I get this note from Hinako? I'm still alive, but tomorrow I'll make sure you draw your final breath. I don't care if it's a special day. Hinako saying that? Full payment. This is probably what I'm looking for. Tukanta paid all outstanding loans and hereby releases from any further contractual obligations. So he might not be a gambler. He might actually just be in poverty because it sucks. Can't get out of it easily. The debt might not be his fault, but he's still abusive. Like, that's... I don't know, maybe if he would just seemed angry and didn't beat his wife, I would be more understanding. Even if you, like, say the whole knife thing might have just been an act of rage, it doesn't happen, it's not like a constant thing, that would be okay. But it kind of sounds like he's always like that, and he's like, yeah, but that's what I thought a father was supposed to be like. Not a great look. Hard for me to really accept that. I don't understand him at all. I'm gonna be upset if this ends up being a boss fight. Not because, like, oh, I have to deal with the boss fight, but it seems like we really shouldn't have one based on everything we just did. Hey, it is new. Good. We might still have a boss fight, but at least this means something's gonna be different because we're, like, reconciling with the family in some fashion. Oh yeah, also friends are dead, but who cares about that? Now, what I would hope is just no boss fight whatsoever, but it might be something else. Is it gonna be so subtle that I'm not even gonna notice anything different? It did say new, right? New cutscene.
Hinako! 遅かったな。今から始めるところだったぞ。誰のなんだと。
Don't worry, it's a new cutscene. We're gonna watch this whole thing. It said it's new, damn it. Well, now he's just transforming into Monster Mash. Is it only new because I don't have the brooch on?
誰なんだ。私のお父さんとお母さんを。
I guess saying that they're not, that's not the parents we're fighting then. That's something. That like part I think is the newest thing. What are you doing to my parents? That's not them. Interesting. Quick fight though. This isn't new, so I imagine unless we get more Junko things, we're not gonna get much new. Not here either. Did we get the brooch back? You'd think he would have given us the brooch again. I got a little impatient and already immediately ran past the first note that we got from the statue, but it's fine. Scroll of Discipline. Realize your good fortune. This miracle is more than you deserve. I know that was kind of shitty, huh? I forgot to grab the first one of these. Forget your lowly upbringing. Pitiless parents and foolish friends must all be cast aside. Scroll of Discipline. Even ignoble mortal blood may serve its purpose. Be grateful you were chosen for such an honor. I mean, we got a bunch of notes about, like, marrying a god. So I guess that's what this is saying. Like, you should be happy that you're doing this. With her blood shall our clan prosper. May our ancestors rejoice. So your oats. Come close. Women must submit to men. Koto Yuki is still but a fledgling. Come and we shall treat you as we see fit. Look into my eyes. So I think with, I guess with removing the brooch, we are actively being able to kind of fight this a lot better, because Hinako's definitely not feeling it. Alright, new cutscene? No? Damn. Well, if it ain't new, I'm skipping it. And then there's never a new note here. Two chicks confide in one another in their shells. A fox watches over them in the light of his lantern. Nobody knows when or even if the eggs will hatch, not even the chicks themselves. Little... Someone watching two people. I feel like that is not helpful information. Let's try making this fox. And these two are in their shell. That was it. Okay. I was ready to look it up. Did I switch my equipment? I might have kept it all the same. Yeah, I didn't even bother. Alright, so I'm good for the rush down then. Yo, Vine Boom. Different scene. Not different, but you know I'm gonna wait till Vine Boom. New cutscene. Hopefully I didn't miss anything from skipping the end of the parents one. What would be new here? So it seems like Bride Hinako still killed them. And then, like, the monsters are here, so what? We go and do it. I'd assume what she said is different. I think generally speaking, her, like, directing her anger at, like, what? I didn't realize that guy's up there. She might be directing her anger more so at the outside force that's causing this. Please stop. Please stop. Let me brute force in peace. Where's the puppet master pulling the string? So yeah, she is like talking more directly to like whatever. Oh, I always forget about this one. So vaguely different. Pardon me. Excuse me. God, it is still messed up that they decided to make us fight 3 pregnant women. Alone. The thing I hate about having the sword is that it just takes so long to actually equip. So when I accidentally equip it, it takes a while to unequip it. Alright, this has to be new. Say something new, Hinako. Thank you. Reconcile with yourself. Don't crush your skull. Yeah. Why would you pass it on to yourself in the future? It's like when you procrastinate on a project.
ませんね。その選択の結果を決して誰のせいにもしないと誓いますね。
それ私たち清水ひな子の選択
We have made. Please mean that you don't crush me. I want like significant changes.
運命は私たちが自ら私たちが十分に悩み抜いて納得してから選ぶ
Combined to make a super Hinako, fox arm and sword. God damn it. Like, I'm sure we're gonna combine to make a super Hinako, but like, this basically just means I'm gonna have to do the ascent back up the mountain again. Or hill, it's not really a mountain. Running up that hill. Stay with me forever. No. I'm the only one who truly cares about Shimizu Hinako's happiness. Why are you just standing there? If you dare submit to the foxes, I shall curse you. Yeah, it seems alright. Oh, so close. Yeah, so Hinako is saying new stuff here along the way. It's twisted just like me. My sick mind. I made like a fucked up looking hamburger helper. Just a quick glimpse into my red tablet mind. Who are you? Yeah, so she knows too that the doll's bullshit. It's like we're in the ending where she's like, wait a minute, I'm being manipulated. That basically is what this consists of. Easy kill. I don't really need items. I'm just going. Talk. We don't need items. We're fully decked out. We're good to go. We're so strong. We're so powerful. Even me whiffing a bunch of hits, we were still able to deal with that very easily. You'd love to see it. I don't really mind this combat arena. The, like, 3 pregnant ladies back-to-back really blows. I think that's the worst one. These handful are, like, straightforward enough. Okay. I want to talk to that doll again. I'll take stuff. I'm gonna... I have enough bandages. I have 26. I don't even really need these to use, even if they do have benefits to me now. I don't think enshrining does anything for me. Unless if that, like, faith carries over and is useful for, getting your focus back. Your sanity, I mean. Pop that in. Moving forward. You think on, like, a higher combat difficulty, this room becomes a battle arena? Do you think that changes? Because it does seem weird that they would give you that checkpoint. Have you walk through here and nothing happens. And then when you go this way is when you get the cutscene of, like, getting past everything. Never mind, you get this checkpoint.
Shimizu Hinako.
We need to even charge up knives. Probably want to have some toolkits, because we might defeat enemies. Probably should have tried to make sure I had toolkits. We have so many of these, dog. One toolkit might not be enough. We have 4 different weapons of use. I just feel like saving our durability isn't going to really matter too much for this endpoint. I don't know why I was hoping for more toolkits. So, we'll get rid of that. Wolf will keep on, because I think I'm going to assume it lasts until your weapon has the damage look to it. Spider, I'm not going to care about. We will put on the, better dodges. I'd say better dodges and swordfish would be nice. But I do kind of also want... The rabbit would have been a nice option for big damage, and then weasel... Maybe we'll do that instead of wolf. Good enough at dodging, have swordfish. And then we will have weasel. Tanuki I like just because of how protective it makes us. This is it. It's all built up to this moment. The final ending. I didn't even think about it. We might also play as Fox Hinako. Which I guess the setup's fine. It'll work still. I don't know. What are we gonna fight? Because we're basically just saying no to everyone. Just like an amalgamation of... I don't think Inari or the monk would play nice together to make a big creature mash. The water dragon, I guess? But that also extends to that just being the geyser with toxic gas. That's like a natural occurrence kind of thing. It kind of seems also mostly unrelated to us. The only reason the water dragon ever came up is because of the weakened power of the monk not being able to hold it back. We're just getting a second UFO ending. That's all this amounted to. Fun little shrine. Crazy how this is such a big area that seems like it would be for a boss fight and we don't actually fight anyone in here. We always go to a shadow realm.
Hinako. あなた、Hinako なの?
お姉ちゃん、私たちは
This is already different, so I'm not gonna bother
誰か
looking.
のおもちゃにされているの。
どういうこと?
私を嫁がせたい何者かと、それを妨害したい何者かが私を 二つに引き裂いて戦わせている。
そんなことって。
とても苦しい戦いだったけれど、私はようやくそれに気づけた
Imagine
の。
this still isn't like really Junko though,
人
right?
に望まぬ選択を強いること、それをせかすこと。
I don't know like how real anyone is besides Hinako in her mind palace.
戦わなくちゃいけないって気づけたから。
And I guess the gods. Like, I can't imagine the gods are influencing everyone else because it seems like we needed the pills to connect.
ごめんね、お姉ちゃん。
I guess the influence on everyone else would be the fox mask because he's possessed.
私、やっぱり親不孝者だと思う。でも本当に私の幸せを願っていてくれるなら、この暴挙をどうか許して。
Also, in the end, what do the gods want? I'd imagine Inari-sama is because Koto Yuki. I'm still probably... I don't remember his name, man. It doesn't come up enough times for me to internalize it. Because he wanted... He loved Hinako after she saved him. So I think it's just his twisted desires. So is this just an opportunity for the it might also not be a monk. The other god might be something else, but I'm just calling it the monk god. Is this just an opportunity for the monk god to get rid of Inari-sama? Like, oh, he's trying to marry this girl, I can weasel my way in there, and then I'll be in charge again, even though I'm too weak to deal with the water dragon. I mean, it all just comes down to Hinako being a piece on a chessboard for them. I guess mainly specifically for the monk, not so much for Inari-sama.
どうして私たちはどちらかが殺されなければならないの？どうして私たちは
Combine.
しか対話ができないの？
Is this the god's influence trying to choke them out? Because it seemed like Fog Hinako was possessed. Obviously, the fox arm is. Yeah, so there's that. He's helping. So I mean, it could also be like Shu, where he's not fully aware of what's happening, not like a full possession. Oh, so Hinako's special. Never mind. Hinako's just special. love the fox just giggling over there.
孤独に
Having a grand time.
一生懸命に悩んで生きてきたことゆきさんを
I guess we're just both gonna fight our own demon. Defeat the gods.
私は初め全然乗り気じゃなかったでも彼の気持ちを知るうちに私も同じくらい一生懸命考えなくちゃならないって思ったの
Yo.
いつかお父さんみたいになるかもしれないって笑うな私の悩みを笑っていいのは未来の自分だけだ
Oh, the doll's in there instead of shoot.
彼の思いに応えることで私の人生は何を得られる何を失う何が変わって何が生まれる
This is radical. It's way too far away. Don't really know what's happening right now. Can you stop? Good uppercut.
真剣に悩んで不安や悩みを抱えてその上で羽ばたく勇気が持てるか私たちは問うんだ
You know what's bullshit is I had to like refight this guy a bunch because the trophy for him is to dodge his arrows. And it's such a long process just to get to the point where he does arrow stuff. Thankfully I didn't have to refight the fox because all it was kill his ads. Oh, a grapple. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful now. My sanity is waning. I probably have some sanity items, but I don't know which ones are actually that.
私をのめりさせる気なら覚えといて元ゆきさんを笑うことはダメだろうと許さない
How did that one hit miss? Okay, you're done. I'm assuming done.
どんな未来を選ぶかわからないけど何を選んでも悩んだ分だけ受け入れられるもし悩み抜かなかったら何を選んでも受け入れられない私たちが望むのは静かに悩める静寂だけお前のおせっかいはいらない
Switch to the swords.
私たちだけの誰におもちゃにされる言われはない こ
Yo, you gonna attack? I hate this bell. I was gonna say, he seems just more tanky compared to the other guy. The other guy. The, Fox. Is there gonna be, like, one final super boss, or are we done?
ごめんね。必ず供養するからね。
大丈夫か、二人とも。
Notice how Shu didn't come to help us?
パッチだ。早く。ほら。
Also, kind of weird that, he has his mask back on. I feel like at this point he shouldn't.
本当にすまない。
Looks like I get two
祝
Hinakos.
言に酒が過ぎたのだろう。普段は温和な方なのだ。
What?
どうすればいいの？
この場は私が何とかしておく。
Are you talking about the god?
琴幸さん、一緒に。
Like he's just drunk?
私は君に全てを与えたつもりで、君が一番欲していたものに気づけなかった。私も君と同じものが欲しくなったのだ。君への愛は酔狂なまじないによって生み出されたものではないと。行きなさい。
もし私たちへの愛が本物だったなら、また会いましょう。私たちもしっかり悩んで答えを用意しておきます。
Well, so the moral of the story is just don't rush into things? But also don't immediately shut down the prospect? Don't rush into the marriage, but also don't, like, immediately walk away. Oh, see, he gets two Hinakos! I'm still a little confused. So, like, what? Inari-sama's just drunk? He just needs to relax and think things through? I guess most of the notes implied that Inari-sama wasn't exactly a bad god or anything. And then the monk was just spiteful and jealous. Like Rinko. So even though, like, the notes kind of implied the monk wasn't bad either, like, he just was... His rage and anger was obviously what was in charge there, and then Inari-sama just assumed that he should have what he wants. Okay. Interesting, I say, addition to the ending of everything. I've already voiced my displeasure with kind of the idea of having to do 3 endings. I like the extra notes that give context, and I like this aspect of the game. I just kind of wish it would have been more involved in a normal first playthrough. Honestly, I know it's Silent Hill, and I'm gonna kind of get into that a little bit more. Silent Hill has multiple endings, and that's kind of what you do. I think overall it should have maybe just had the focus on the main ending. Have a UFO goof ending. Or, I mean, I guess all of the endings are fine. The drug one kind of is a little out there. And honestly, I would say unsatisfying with everything else that the game has to offer. Obviously, in hindsight, it makes sense. Don't take pills from a kid. But the other two endings and then this final ending, I think work well together. The drug one I feel like is not quite as good. I think the drug context regarding like being in tune with the spiritual world because of it is fine and makes sense, especially when that's a connection to Silent Hill, where like I want to kind of reiterate that I don't feel like this is a Silent Hill game, but that's more of a personal issue. For me, Silent Hill very much is tied to that Western town through the lens of like Eastern developers, which is kind of why the games outside of Team Silent never felt quite like a Silent Hill game. Even like I like Shattered Memories, but that is a little bit of a weird one as well. That being said, I like this game a lot. It's definitely up there as my favorites. I don't know if I would put it like above 4 or around there. It's never going to beat out 2 or 1 or 3. But this is a very good game. That being said, I still don't like the combat. Obviously, I mentioned it before, maybe I don't have anything useful to say about it because I did just brute force my way through it on easy difficulty. I feel like there are way too many mechanics that bog down the game. You don't need durability. You don't have to do like a focus mode. You don't have to have a devil trigger with your fox arm. The creating a build for your character in a horror game like this is whack. And I think it's kind of bullshit that like the Onamaris can be random, because I think some of them will make combat a lot easier or a lot more enjoyable to play, but only in the sense that they make it so you don't have to worry about some of the mechanics that the game introduces. I was having a lot more fun when durability just wasn't an issue anymore. And that's kind of a weird thing to have. It's just like, oh yeah, let's just remove that mechanic. Now the game is a little bit more playable. Obviously, counters and perfect dodges and all that are things I didn't really master because I wasn't too worried about that. But I didn't want to be bogged down by the combat. And it's still kind of bogged down because there was a lot of forced combat arenas that suck. Obviously, running through again, I was able to kind of skip stuff or just run through quick because, again, I got good Onamaris at my second playthrough, which allowed me to brute force a lot easier. If I had gotten lucky and gotten, like, Weasel or the durability stuff early, then I think the combat would have been a lot more enjoyable, but I kind of got the shit ones that were like, oh, your sanity is raised higher a little bit more. I've mentioned it before with the Silent Hill 2 remake. Technically speaking, this combat is better than the original Team Silent game combat. But it being better as far as, like, polished doesn't make it funner to play. It just means that, like, there you go, you have that. Where, like, with the Team Silent combat, it's more avoidable, especially when you have guns to kind of get past enemies. I don't know what the deal is with the, like, mini-face enemies where they make the ground shitty, because that is just hard to deal with and annoying. But anyways, we have a letter from Kotoyuki. The days have grown warmer where I am. What is it like in Ebisugaoka? I can still recall the startling beauty of dandelions peeking out through cracks in stone walls. I would like to express my appreciation for the letter you sent me. It was quite enlightening. I will follow in your footsteps and start by simply trying to enjoy life. As per your recommendation, I purchased sauce-flavored senbai for the first time just the other day. I must have been quite a sight to see. A man dressed in a suit, buying cheap rice crackers and eating them with children outside the candy store. The children laughed when they saw me, saying that real grown-ups don't buy such cheap snacks, and so I explained to them how I wasn't able to eat many treats as a child, which is why I am eating them now. What a boring thing to say, instead of like, adults can eat stuff, fuck you kids. When they heard that, they began swarming around me and telling me all the different delicious ways you can eat sauce-flavored senbai. Oh, that's cute, actually. Though I must say I was taken aback when a child suggested I try putting strawberry jam on it. Imagine such a scene, a full-grown man eating snacks with children. Yeah, that is a little worrying. While I was rather embarrassed, I felt like I had regained part of my lost childhood. I then offered the kids to come into my white van and come to my cool mansion. I intend to become reacquainted with my inner child, discover my own dreams, and live life to the fullest. And once I have done so, I hope to reevaluate my feelings for you. And that's just part of the, like, not rushing into things. He's kind of... I don't know, that seems weird. Oh, we got our Fox arm! I like how Fog Hinako was able to change her outfit, but Fox Arm Hinako's just kind of stuck with that.
誰かをものすごく好きになってその人のためにものすごく努力して情熱のすべてを注ぎ込むような一途で一生懸命な生き方をしてみたい今度は私から琴幸さんに求婚するくらいの勢いで一生懸命に私は
I don't know if I want to do that.
まだ決まってないけどとにかく何かに一生懸命に何それここは静かだね誰も邪魔しないせかさないいるのは私たちだけ
What if you just marry yourself, Hinako?
行く末を決められる
It does still kind of feel like the two gods... Oh, look, they're... the two gods using Hinako to fight each other felt kind of like a... just a side thing, like a little bonus.
こんな静かな恵比寿ヶ丘は初めてかもここは私たちだけの静寂の恵比寿ヶ丘
Silent and Ebisugaoka together! Well, the Gaoko means hill, so Silent Hill. That's really funny. That's silly. That's a silly thing to say. We really are in a Silent Hill. I'm still a little confused about Junko, though. Helping us with the ladder at the beginning, being kind of cranky at Fog Hinako, and then the bell's there, I guess what the bell represents. There's probably a lot of stuff I'm missing, and like I said, I did hear about the White Claudia a bit, so that kind of helped me to contextualize a lot more of it. But I like the story a lot. I like where it went. I like I said, besides the drug ending that kind of almost seemed a bit weird. It's a good game. It's gonna, I think, stick with me for a bit. But I also have a lot of frustrations with it. I do think overall, even though I did say I don't think this is a Silent Hill game, this is definitely where I would prefer Silent Hill to go. Because realistically, there isn't much you can do with the town of Silent Hill without just regurgitating and doing the same thing over and over again. Thanks, Homecoming Downpour. So having it just not even relate is fine. I don't... Like, when I say it's not a Silent Hill game, that doesn't mean I don't like it. It just is something that I don't feel because Silent Hill is the town to me. But this does have a lot of stuff that relates to Silent Hill, not just the White Claudia. It just has that kind of feel to it in certain areas. The monster representations, I do think it's silly that they're, it's a bit on the nose what they represent. Like, in the journal, it just basically tells you this is what this is. This guy's a creep. That's a pregnant woman. Could you guess what that might relate to? I almost wish that the Dark Shrine and the Fog World monsters were more different instead of reskins. Especially, I might be wrong, but it seems like the Fog monsters are like the Inari-sama's doing, where the Dark Shrine ones are the monk trying to stop the wedding. So it would be nice if they were a bit more different than just like some of them having flowers on them or not. And maybe more variety, especially when it comes to the pregnant woman. That's awful. That's like a really bad thing. I wish, like, what would be the thing? I almost feel like the running down and up the mountain is probably the worst part of the game. If running up the mountain didn't have monsters, maybe that would have made it a little bit better. Obviously, not 3 pregnant women in a row for running down the mountain. I don't even really know what the reason is for it to be a bit of a weird time frame where, like, we see Foxarm Hinako kill the parents. We chase after her. She kills Fog Hinako, goes up the mountain, and then kills the parents, and that like loops, but it doesn't really loop. That doesn't relate to looping. Nothing about this game really goes into looping. I don't think it ever comes down to like, oh, you're reliving this idea, although you could maybe make a case for it being like that because Hinako's fighting in her mind, her inner self versus her inner self, and seeing like the outcome. I mentioned before, I like the school because it's kind of a nice, like, slow burn. The Scarecrow puzzle was neat, even though a lot of it kind of confused me. I think the puzzles were pretty okay. Some of it was a little confusing to me, but that might just be me being stupid. And I wish there was more with Sakugo. It's a shame that she dies so early in the game because her little snippets aren't quite enough. I kind of wish there was a little bit more with Rinko and Shu. Shu kind of gets enough because he's related to the endings, although I kind of wish this would have given us a bit more insight onto, like, was he possessed? Is that why he did what he did? I do like this ending because Shu's not in it. And then I wish, if the game wanted us to do multiple playthroughs, I wish there was more of a difference to the multiple playthroughs. Some cutscenes were different. There were very minimal differences that I noticed some, I didn't notice others. I looked it up, like the Rinko stairs scene has flowers on the stairs, which I guess implies that that was a manipulation. Just like how Hinako kind of saw through that these characters aren't acting the way they should, I think saying that it's part of the god's manipulation and not actually them. But I think the game also is trying to imply that that's just how the characters are, just maybe pushed a little too over the edge compared to how they really acted in the real world. So yeah, we beat the game. Technically got all the endings. Cute. Did it all. Like I said, I like the game a lot, but God, do I not like playing the game 3 times in a row because the combat, I think, really pulls it down. Oh, now we gotta wait till Townfall. Oh, and I guess, because I did everything I could try playing Lost in the Fog, I think I got all the trophies except for difficulty ones now. I don't know if they, stack, or if I would have to play through the game 2 more times. I'm probably not gonna do that, though. I'll keep the save file in case I want to, but probably not. That was, Silent Hill F. The F stands for... I don't know, what does the F stand for? Family. Friends. Fentanyl. Following your own path.